It was June 1st, 2018. A woman was walking by a creek in Pennsylvania when she noticed a body in the creek. Within minutes, police arrived on scene, as did a local news team, who began interviewing witnesses and nearby residents. One such resident was Matthew Haverly. The creek where the body was found was directly across from Matthew's home, where he lived with his mother, Patricia. Matthew told reporters he had no clue what was going on, and appeared shocked when he learned police were investigating a body found near his home.
I'm like, what the hell's going on? And now I realize that's what they were actually doing. I had no clue.
Matthew even presented various theories, and seemed totally calm throughout the interview.
I think it was kind of a hit, and something happened. Something went bad, and this is like a rural area, so they just wanted to plant the body somewhere else besides wherever the hell they were from.
He also expressed concern for how his mother might feel.
I'm guessing like my mother, she would be concerned.
But during the interview, things take a turn, as Matthew learns he himself is a suspect in the crime, and moments later is arrested. During the interview, Matthew said it was sad they'd found a body, as it could be someone's daughter, child, or mother.
It's sad to say that that's someone's either daughter, mother, whatever, both, child.
It seems like a normal statement to make, but viewers and reporters had no idea how true this statement actually was, as the body was soon identified, and was found to be Matthew's own mother, the same woman Matthew had talked about in the news interview. It's so unsettling hearing Matthew talk about his mother, pretending to care about her feelings towards the body being found, all while knowing that body is his own mother. After the body was identified, Matthew was immediately charged. It turned out they had had many arguments at home, and during one night of arguing and drinking heavily, Matthew took things too far, injuring Patricia, who passed away from significant head trauma. When it was found Matthew was responsible for the body, his neighbors were stunned, especially after watching his interview on the news.
It's heartbreaking because he comes across concerned, and that's what's scary, is because you don't know what's going on next door at your neighbor's house.
In 2019, Matthew pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was sentenced to 14 years, which many said was way too light, considering the crime and Matthew's calm demeanor. It's safe to say Matthew Haverly is evil. Possibly the only person more evil is Matthew's barber. An even more psychopathic criminal exposed live on TV is Charles Bethel IV. On June 25, 2014, he appeared on the Nancy Grace Show to discuss the disappearance of his 12-year-old son, Charlie Bethel V. Charlie had been missing for 11 days, but during the interview, something shocking happens. Nancy Grace informs Charles his son has been found.
Charlie, we're getting reports that your son has been found in your basement. Sir? Mr. Bothell, are you...
What?
Yeah, we are getting reports that your son has been found alive in your basement.
What?
Yes, that's what... If you could hand me that wire very quickly. Yeah, we're getting that right now from yeah. How could your son be alive in your basement?
He had been found alive in the basement of their Detroit home. Charles doesn't even seem that happy, but instead visibly shaken. He said that he, the police, and the FBI had checked his basement, doing so around 7 times. So, how was Charlie alive? And in their family home that had been extensively searched. Clearly, things were not as they seemed. Charlie had been found in the basement, barricaded behind many boxes, inside a large barrel. The FBI believed Charlie could not have done this by himself, as it would have been impossible for him to barricade himself in. As if that wasn't weird enough, bedding, soda, and cereal was also found in the basement, indicating that Charlie had been down there for some time. On TV, Charles had tried to come across as the perfect dad, trying to seem concerned and scared for his son. But it later transpired there were serious problems at home, and soon Charles and his wife Monique were charged with harming Charlie. Charles pleaded guilty, and was given 18 months of probation. He also lost custody of Charlie, who is now thankfully in safer hands. It's a good thing Charlie was found when he was. Who knows what his parents' long-term plans were, or how far they were willing to take his fake disappearance. An even more haunting live TV news moment took place on August 26, 2015. News reporter Allison Parker and cameraman Adam Ward were in Virginia covering a news segment for WDBJ. They were interviewing a local woman named Vicki Gardner at Bridgewater Plaza, a shopping and entertainment center. It was supposed to be a light and cheerful local news story, but while live on air, the interview would take a horrifying turn. Without warning, an armed man approached the three, opening fire live on air. Allison and Adam sadly passed away at the scene. Vicki was hit in the back but played dead. Despite her injuries, she was able to call for help. She was rushed to hospital and thankfully survived. As the incident unfolded, Adam's camera continued recording, with the footage being broadcast live on TV, briefly capturing the face of the armed man. When staff at WDBJ reviewed the footage, they were stunned. They immediately identified the man as Vesta Flanagan, a former WDBJ employee. He had worked at the station under the professional name Bryce Williams. He had previously worked alongside both Allison and Adam, but had been fired 2 years prior. Following the attack, Flanagan fled the scene, leading to a massive police manhunt. While on the run, he posted to social media, taunting the victims and police, and even saying that he had filmed what he had done. Police soon confirmed he was not lying. He had posted a video of what he'd done from his own perspective. Police eventually tracked down Flanagan's vehicle on the highway, triggering a police chase, which ended with Flanagan crashing his car off the road. He was airlifted to hospital but passed away hours later. But why did Flanagan commit such an evil crime live on TV? Police interviewed his former colleagues at WDBJ. Many said they found Flanagan to be a very angry person who would often make threats to colleagues, which led to Flanagan being fired in 2013. When he was fired, he reacted in a very hostile way, leading to police being called and escorting him from the building. During the investigation, police found Flanagan had sent a fax to ABC News, explaining how angry he was and why he did what he did, saying that he'd been a human powder keg for a while, just waiting to go boom. It was later found Flanagan had severe mental issues, as well as anger problems. All of this sadly led to 2 innocent people losing their lives, in one of the darkest moments in live TV history. Another criminal exposed live on TV news took place in November 2014. A news crew was in Maryland covering a fire. When the news crew arrived, the house was still in flames. But that's when they were approached by this man, who was willing to talk about what he'd seen. The interview seemed fairly normal at first, until the reporter asks the man what he thought caused the fire, to which the man proudly says it was him.
Me, I set it on fire. I set it on fire.
The man only identified himself as Carlos. The reporter and viewers were stunned. This man had just admitted to committing a serious crime. The man explained exactly what he did, saying, "I just poured gasoline on the floor and set it on fire."
I just poured gasoline on the floor, set it on fire, and went to buy a drink and came back.
After the interview came to an end, police arrested Carlos. The man was later identified as 27-year-old Carlos Peralta. He was charged with arson and reckless endangerment after causing $400,000 worth of damage and displacing 6 people from their homes. An even more disturbing criminal exposed live on TV took place in 2011. Lauren Giddings had just graduated law school and had a whole life ahead of her, but that life was cut short. She had been living in Georgia near Mercer University, where she had been studying for years. Friends and family described her as smart, caring, and pretty. Lauren seemed to have the ideal life, but on June 25, 2011, Lauren stopped answering any calls or texts. After a few days, friends and family began searching for Lauren. Lauren's phone, keys, and purse were still in her apartment, making the situation even more odd and concerning. After a few days, Lauren's disappearance caught the attention of local news, who went to the area to speak to people who were searching for Lauren. One of those people was Lauren's neighbor, Stephen McDaniel. Stephen lived just a few doors down from Lauren, in the same apartment complex. In the interview, he seemed like any other neighbor who was concerned for Lauren. Like Lauren, Stephen had just graduated from Mercer University, and they'd even taken some of the same classes.
She and I were both JD students. We graduated back in May.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. I mean, the only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her.
As the interview with Stephen progressed, the reporter shared a shocking update, revealing that Lauren's torso had been found in a trash bin right outside the apartment complex. This is the exact moment when Stephen's demeanor totally changes.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you heard it? Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's why we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
Upon hearing the news, Stephen can barely speak and needs to sit down. At first, many did not find this too strange, assuming he was simply shocked by the terrible news. But in hindsight, Stephen's reaction was not one of grief, but instead of fear. Fear of being caught for an evil crime. Because of the interview, police began looking at Stephen, but he did not fit the normal profile. He was timid and had no criminal record. But police decided to search his apartment just in case, and what they found revealed a terrifying truth. Police found a master key to the apartment complex that Stephen had stolen from the building's maintenance room. But that was not the worst thing they found. Also discovering the hacksaw Stephen had used, it soon became very clear what had happened. Stephen had been fixated on Lauren for months, and eventually decided to end her life. On Stephen's computer, a recording outside Lauren's window was discovered, proving that Stephen had been spying on Lauren for months. When Lauren had gone to bed, Stephen used the stolen master key to enter her apartment before ending her life. Stephen was arrested and sentenced to life in prison. One of the scariest TV moments of all time took place in 1987 at NBC's Burbank studio. On August 19th, Gary Stallman entered the studio. It was a busy studio where people would come and go, and Gary's father actually worked there, so no one found Gary's presence odd. That was until Gary walked right onto the news set. The news crew were startled and confused. Gary gave the news anchor a note and told him to read it on air, all while holding him at gunpoint.
What is this?
Let me
see what it says. All right.
He's got a gun to his back.
All right, well, let me read this. Folks, we have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name or not? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
After a few moments, the broadcast cut. The news anchor, David Horowitz, was unaware they were off-air and had to make a split-second decision: resist and risk his life ending, or read the note to keep everyone safe. Smartly, David chose option 2. Gary's note was completely unhinged, saying the government had replaced his father with an alien clone, and he was convinced they were trying to silence him. The note made no sense, but David read the entire thing to keep everyone safe. What Gary didn't know was, none of it would make it on air. Things calmed down when David read the last line of Gary's note.
There is no way I can harm anyone with this empty BB gun.
Police arrived soon after and arrested Gary. Unsurprisingly, it was found he was suffering from mental health issues. Instead of prison, he was sent to a mental health facility, and his current whereabouts remains unknown. Comment below which of these live TV moments was the most scary. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and watch this video next.